Real estate affordability crisis in America continues, and the overpriced car market is frustrating. Hi, it's Edward, back with another video. Please take a moment to click the thumbs up button below and consider subscribing to the channel. Please also share this video with your friends. Thank you for your support. Today, I read several financial news articles. I've included links to the articles in the description below. I encourage you to read the articles to support the authors and news sources. As a private American citizen, I'd like to report and share my transformative thoughts through commentary regarding small sections of these articles that are of public interest. Today, I read an article on Yahoo Finance put out by Business Insider and written by Philip DeMott titled, "The U.S. Housing Market is Slowly Thawing, but 91% of homes are still overvalued," Fitch says. The author of this article referenced Fitch ratings as saying homes were overvalued by 11.1% as of the third quarter, a trend extending to 91% of U.S. metro areas. The author then referenced Brian Luke, the head of fixed income indices at S&P Dow Jones Indices, as saying, "Looking back at the year, 2023 appears to have exceeded average annual home price gains over the past 35 years. Well, my friends, this is all good news for homeowners who bought their homes years ago and were successful in finding a buyer. I am sure many walked away with some healthy profits. I have to wonder if some buyers may have overpaid near the top of the market recently. Over the long run, real estate has done well for many people. I have to wonder if some people who bought recently may be in trouble if they need to sell to relocate for work. Not everyone has the option to work remotely. If you read the news each week, you may have noticed there have been a lot of layoffs recently, especially in the tech industry. Selling a home is not cheap. You have a real estate commission, closing costs, proration of property taxes, and in some cases, you have to make repairs that the buyers request. I know this has not been the trend in recent years since so many people waived inspections to remain competitive with their offers. I have to wonder how many people who waived inspections now own homes that are headaches. When they go to sell these homes, the new crowd of buyers may not be willing to waive inspections since the multiple offer mania has settled down in many areas around the country. Some sellers may now have to make repairs in order to get their homes sold, and this may not be cheap. Try getting contractors to come out for small jobs. Many are not interested. When you do find contractors who are willing to come out to your house and provide you with an estimate, you are probably going to get sticker shock. Even if you find a contractor who provides a reasonable estimate, it's certainly possible the contractor may encounter additional problems once the repair is started, and that will cost more money. In my experience, contractors love to bash the work that someone else has done in the past. Many love to use this as a reason to justify additional work being necessary along with additional cost. For people who are forced into a situation where they need to sell because of their employment situation changing, they may be caught off guard by how much money it may cost to unload their homes. Again, this may really impact people who bought recently. For those who bought years ago, I am sure they will be walking away with some nice cash. Getting back to the article, the author referenced Zillow as indicating lagging wage growth has meant that homebuyers now need to earn about 80% more than they did before the pandemic. Well, my friends, this has to be discouraging to people who are looking to purchase a home. I have no doubt many people have not seen their wages increase by 80% since before the pandemic. This is a huge problem for a lot of Americans. Many have not seen their wages keep pace with inflation for just about everything in life. This is why people are struggling with being able to afford groceries, rent, a used car, insurance, daycare, etc. Unfortunately, many have resorted to credit cards and buy now, pay later loans to afford life, which is not going to be sustainable long term in my opinion. The author of this article went on to reference the Mortgage Bankers Association as saying, further headwinds to housing affordability come from rising mortgage rates, with the median payment rising from $2,055 to $2,134 in December. Well, my friends, who knows what is going to happen with the 10-year Treasury, which impacts mortgage rates. Personally, I'd rather see interest rates stay higher for longer because I don't think they are too high. If businesses can't function in our current interest rate environment, perhaps they shouldn't stay in business. If Wall Street companies and individuals are less interested in purchasing real estate in this higher interest rate environment, perhaps that will force listing prices to come back to reality. If we see interest rates drop, the madness in the real estate industry will likely continue. I'd rather see real estate prices drop and rates stay elevated. I'd much rather see people getting a better price for the home, even if the interest rates stay high, resulting in their payments being higher. People can always refinance in the future, or they can work hard to make extra payments toward the mortgage principal to pay it off. People in our society have gotten too focused on the payment during the artificially low interest rate environment of the past. I don't understand how some people were okay with paying $500,000 for a house that was only $250,000 2 years prior, especially given the fact that the sellers did nothing to the house. The furnace and AC system got 2 years older, the roof got 2 years older, the appliances got 2 years older, the windows got 2 years older, the carpet got 2 years more worn out, but magically it's now worth $250,000 more because of lower interest rates. It's not just real estate. This has happened in the car market as well. Look at some of the worn out cars that dealerships are trying to sell for far more than what they are worth. Many continue to push the same narrative relating to low inventory and the chip shortage of the past. I feel bad for people who are overpaying for worn out cars that are incredibly overpriced and then taking out a long-term loan at a very high interest rate. Many of these people drive out of the dealerships incredibly upside down, meaning they are in an extreme negative equity position. And when that used car breaks down, they get to look forward to paying more for parts and labor to get it repaired. Earlier this week, I saw a used Honda Fit for sale at a dealership. In my opinion, they are a reliable and basic form of transportation. I decided to stop and take a look at the car because I was curious what it was selling for. This black car had around 150,000 miles on the odometer, and it was about as stripped down as you could get. And it had so many chips on the hood and front bumper cover that it looked like snow was on the front of the car because every chip revealed the light-colored primer or metal underneath. The car was really rough, but the dealership wanted $12,000 for it. I wondered who in the world would pay this much for this vehicle when you can buy a brand new Toyota Corolla for $24,000. Then you get free oil changes for 2 years or 25,000 miles. You also get a vehicle that's perfect inside and out. You also get a lower interest rate since the vehicle is new. In addition to that, you know the brakes, tires, belts, hoses, battery, etc. are all new, and these are things you don't need to worry about for quite some time. Unfortunately, there are some people who can't afford the payment on a brand new $24,000 Toyota Corolla, so they are going to overpay for a worn-out Honda Fit that is overpriced because they need transportation. I just feel bad for someone who buys something like this and then gets taken to the cleaners for repairs and then is making payments on a loan for a vehicle with a lot of negative equity from day one. Fortunately, a Honda Fit will probably be reliable and repairs won't cost as much as with some other vehicles. It could be a lot worse if someone buys a used German luxury brand vehicle with high mileage. Some people buy these cars for a certain image and they have no clue how much they cost to maintain. What do you think about what has been happening in the real estate market and the car market? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. I read another article on Yahoo Finance put out by the Associated Press and written by Tom Krishner titled, "Lower Auto Prices Are Finally Giving Americans a Break After Years of Inflationary Increases." According to the author, price increases for cars and trucks in the United States, which helped fuel inflation for nearly 3 years, are slowing and in some cases falling, helping cool overall inflation and giving frustrated Americans more hope of finding an affordable vehicle. The author goes on to say, at the end of January, American dealers had 2.61 million new cars, trucks, and SUVs on their lots, according to Cox Automotive. By contrast, the supply a year ago was just 1.74 million. Well, my friends, this really varies depending on the vehicle brand. If you drive by a dealership that sells Stellantis vehicles, you might see more inventory on the lot. If you drive by a Toyota dealership, you probably are not going to see much inventory. I visited a Toyota dealership this past week, and they had 5 new Camrys, 2 Venzas, 4 new Corollas, 1 4Runner, 1 BZ4, 1 Crown, 2 RAV4s, 3 4Runners, and 2 Tundras. That was it. Prior to the pandemic, they usually had 15 to 20 of each model to choose from. Like I said earlier, vehicle inventory is going to vary depending on the manufacturer. Now here is something really interesting. The author of the article reported automaker discounts in January on new vehicles, including rebates and low interest financing, averaged $1,469 per vehicle, 5 times what they had averaged a year earlier. Did you hear me? 5 times what they had averaged a year earlier. Let's hope this trend continues. I'd love to see vehicle inventory increase at dealership lots. I'd love to see these dealers come off their high horse and be put into a situation where they are desperate for buyers and ready to negotiate again. Maybe we will see this at some point in the next year if our economy continues to slow and interest rates stay elevated. What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Please keep in mind that everything in this video is for entertainment purposes only, and nothing in this video is financial advice or advice of any kind. If you need advice, seek advice from a qualified professional in good standing who puts your interests first and foremost. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Please also consider sharing this video with your friends. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. Check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.